we want to talk about is War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, based off of the H.G. Wells book from like forever ago, loosely based, because it's almost completely unrelated to the book. But I think this movie was a cool watch. One of the gripes I've heard in other reviews is a lot of people didn't like the kids. They thought they were annoying. And I'm just like, you know what? They are annoying, especially the little girl played by Danny Fanning. I forget her name. She's young there. And I've never seen her play anything that young. And she was just crying, screaming the whole movie. Like, I get it. She's scared. She's a frightened little kid. But, like, come on now. She was just crying the whole movie. And then the son was a jerk. I know he was a bad dad. But, like, come on now. The world is ending. If there's any time for closure and for us to get together and closer as a unit, it's now. It's now for the world to end. And I had to look up, like, what's going on? Because I remember, if I remember the books right, the aliens, when they came to Earth, they died because of water. And there was an alien swimming through the water in one of the pods. So I'm just like, well, it's not water. And then the end, they zoomed in on like some cells and stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? Why did the aliens die? So I looked it up, and apparently it's like bacteria and stuff like that was in the atmosphere. Some people were saying it was the bacteria in the human blood. And a lot of people think that's a plot hole, because if the aliens are advanced enough to travel from wherever they came from to conquer our place billions of years ago, they should be sufficient enough to handle bacteria. Like, they should have planned for that. And you know what? That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. Why didn't they? It seems like a plot hole, you know what I'm saying? And then there's another plot hole where a lot of people were like, well, why did they vaporize some humans and then keep some humans up? And I watched a really good Indian explained video, and they were like, well, the reason they did that is because blood type. Blood type makes a lot of sense based off of the movie, because, you know, they're only compatible with certain blood types, so they only want certain blood types. And although no blood types are obviously explained in the movies, that would be a really good reason where they could just scan your blood type. Okay, we don't need that guy, zap. Okay, we need that guy, zap. We don't need that guy, zap. We're gonna grab these guys. And it would make sense, especially since Tom Cruise's daughter, she was taken, and then Tom Cruise himself was taken. Boom, father-daughter. They probably have the same blood type. Not only that, when the son disappears and during the war scene with the tanks and stuff like that, we think he's all dead, but he survived, and he's back at Boston with his mom. We're like, how did he survive? Which, to be honest, I did think that was a stretch. But the YouTuber was like, well, if he had the same blood type as his dad, most likely he was put in a cage, and if he was able to hold off long enough, which is possible, I mean, everyone else did it. If he was long enough to hold off long enough, he would be freed with everyone else, but he would have been captured because of his blood type. And the blood type really makes sense as far as this movie goes. Overall, I thought this movie was really good. I really don't have too much of complaints about it. It's dated, of course. The ending was a little confusing as far as that goes, maybe a little plot holey. I'd probably give War of the Worlds about a 9 out of 10. And I really have to give Tom Cruise props. He's a great action actor. Like, he does his thing in these action movies. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on action, on War of the Worlds.